Welcome to my channel. Title: The Love That Traveled the World. In a small bookstore in Paris, Eloise ran her fingers over the worn pages of an old book titled Les Histoires d'amour perdues, the stories of lost love. As she turned the fragile pages, a small yellowed note slipped out and fluttered to the ground. Curious, she picked it up. The handwriting was elegant, yet slightly faded with time. It read, "Love is the only force that defies time, distance, and even reason. If you find this note, pass it on with your own story." Eloise smiled. The romantic in her wanted to believe that love had a way of weaving people's fates together like an invisible thread. She tucked the note into her pocket, feeling its warmth, and thought back to her own story. A love that had traveled across countries, through time and despite the odds. The train to Venice asterisk. It had started on a train to Venice. Eloise had been lost in a book, too engrossed to notice that her coffee was precariously balanced on the small table in front of her. When the train jolted unexpectedly, the cup tipped over, spilling its contents onto the open sketchbook of the man sitting across from her. "Oh no," she gasped, reaching for napkins. "I am so sorry." The man looked down at his ruined drawing, charcoal lines smudged under the coffee stain, before laughing. His laughter was light, carefree, as if mistakes were nothing more than opportunities. "Don't worry," he said in a rich Spanish accent. "Maybe love is just like this. Messy, unexpected, but beautiful in the end." His name was Raphael, an artist from Madrid, traveling through Italy in search of inspiration. He had sketched the outline of a woman's face, but now the coffee stain had turned it into something abstract, something different. "Maybe I'll call it La Femme du Hasard, the woman of fate," he mused, looking at her with amusement. They talked for hours, the Italian countryside rolling past their window like a painting in motion. They spoke about art, literature, and the meaning of love. "Did you know," Raphael said, "that in ancient Greece they believed love had different forms? Eros was passion, philia was deep friendship, and agape was selfless love." Eloise smiled. "And storge, the quiet, unconditional love of family." He nodded. "Which one do you believe in most?" She thought for a moment. "All of them, I think. Love is too big to fit into just one definition." By the time they reached Venice, they had exchanged numbers, promising to meet again. But life had other plans. A love that waited. Distance separated them. Eloise returned to Paris, where her life as a book editor took over. Raphael traveled to different countries, sketching, painting, and chasing inspiration. They kept in touch through letters. "Did you know that hugging someone you love releases oxytocin, the love hormone?" Raphael wrote once. "If only we could bottle it and send it across oceans." Another time, Eloise sent him a postcard from the Seine. In Japan, they believe in the red thread of fate, that two people meant to be together are connected by an invisible thread. No matter how tangled or stretched it gets, it never breaks. Years passed, and their letters became less frequent. Life moved forward. But something in Eloise's heart told her their story wasn't over. Then, one winter evening, she found herself back in Venice. She wasn't sure why she had come. Maybe nostalgia, maybe unfinished feelings. She walked through the narrow streets, past the gondolas and the golden lights reflecting in the water. And then, near a small bridge, she saw him. Raphael stood there, sketchbook in hand, just as she remembered him. He looked up, and when their eyes met, he smiled. "I've been waiting," he said simply. She walked towards him, her heart racing. "I think our red thread is still intact," she whispered. He opened his sketchbook, and inside was a drawing of her, unfinished, waiting for completion. "You never stopped being my inspiration," he said. The note lives on. Before they left Venice together, Eloise returned to the small bookstore where their story had begun. She opened the book Les Histoires d'amour perdues and placed the old note back inside, adding her own words beneath it. "Love is real. It crosses borders, defies science, and waits. If you find this note, pass it on with your own story. And somewhere, someday, another heart would find it. Another love waiting to be written." End.